Hello, everyone. Just wanted to make a short video for your guys' assignment number 11 to help you guys out with, getting introduced into SolidWorks assemblies. Um, so some of these problems for this assignment have parts already included for you, like problems 1, 3, and 4. So go ahead and download those problems or those parts rather, 1, 3, and 4. They do download as zip folders. So to extract them, right click on them, go to extract all, extract those folders. I believe you have to do it one at a time. Go ahead and extract them to a known location, which is typically in the standing folder where they're at. In this case, is the downloads, but if you want to place them somewhere else, you can through that window. Okay. We don't need these anymore. We can delete those. One more thing, I am at a busy conference with lots of people around me, so hopefully you don't hear too much ambient noise or background noise. So if that's not a problem. I believe you could hear that. But we'll try to keep it to a minimum. If something does get spoken over, it's too loud, I can repeat what I said. So, all right, I downloaded the assignment. Let me just close out this. And let me stack this side by side with SolidWorks. Okay. So it's my assignment 11. Again, this is an introduction to assemblies. So if you read the instructions, complete problems 1 through 5. Each problem, parts, and assemblies are in its own folder. That's for your submission. So we'll go ahead and get started. For this first problem, we have a Tetris block. So it should be pretty simple and straightforward. As I showed you guys in class, start by making a new assembly file. All right, so this is our assembly. Nope, done with that. We can either start adding parts through this pop-up window. So we can browse, right? We're gonna look for the files to our problem number 1. So here's problem 1, there's a folder. You can select these one at a time, but since I know that we're gonna need all of these, I can drop them in all together. So you can highlight all of these simultaneously and open them. Again, the first part that is dropped in will be set as a fixed part, meaning you cannot move it, which in this case, I believe is number 1. Go ahead and place that somewhere. Although it's not absolutely necessary, I like to place my components just more or less where they'll be assembled. So if I can just maybe kind of place these in a location one at a time, that kind of makes sense. It doesn't have to be perfect. And I am also chewing gum, so hopefully you guys can't pick up too much on that. One more. Am I missing? I'm missing one, which appears to be, if I don't know what file it is, right? There's a bunch of them. I don't know which one's 1, 2, 3, 4. If you just click on the part in the workspace, it'll highlight to you what part that is. And you can go over and right click. Actually, for that, I don't need to right click. I need to find my insert component tool. And then I'm gonna insert another number two. I go to browse and then I find that part specifically. We can place that down as well. So we're gonna have two number twos. One thing that I don't like here is this shading, although it might look nice for presentation. I want this to be plain white as a background. So I am looking for my background tool. Where are you? Let me figure that out before moving forward. Options, system options, colors, so now options. All right, so I believe I found the solution to the problem that I was facing. If you right click anywhere, or actually specifically on this shortcut, on these shortcuts here, we're gonna go to toolbars, or actually we're gonna go to customize shortcut bars. We're gonna look for this logo, which is the render tools. We're gonna click and drag that into our shortcuts. This previously was on the, this was a default for other SolidWorks versions. I don't know why they removed it for 2025, but let's add that back in. So we have the render tools, and I would also like to add, yeah, go with apply scene, which was this one here, apply scene. Those are good two tools to have. So now we go to the scene. The default is 3-point faded, but again, I want a plain white background, so I can change that to plain white. I also want to get rid of the shadows. Background. Edit appearance, I believe, is for the individual parts. Correct. What about edit scene? Maybe we already had here. Floor shadows. We do not want floor shadows. So maybe, nope, that's not it. Let me find that and I'll get back to you. Yeah. All right, so found that one again. Same thing, right click on the shortcut tabs, go to customize, or we go to shortcut bars. The one that we're looking for this time is this one, the computer logo, or the display logo. View settings, want to drag and drop that one, close this. And then from here, we can turn off shadows in shaded mode. It's perfect, exactly what I want. So we can start working on our problem. Um, so currently, this is my tile one. And if I bring up our work again, this is what we're looking at. Now, since we're assuming that the width of these blocks is the same, essentially, if we make two edges of the blocks together, it should line them up right where they need to be. For instance, let's go to our, where are my tools? All right, so that's the same problem that I've been having with SolidWorks. I don't like how they removed some of the standard tabs that we have. But if you right click on the tab that's currently there, we can add some of those in. One that's important to us currently is the assembly tab. Let's see. Also, evaluate would be important to us at some point, maybe not right now, but it's also a good one to kind of have. And also maybe the sketch. We'll just keep these around. But where we want to start is our assembly tab. So if we go to that tab, we find a tool called mate, and this is what we use to add mates within our assemblies. So this is my fixed block, right? As I said in class, fixed is denoted by the letter F next to the title of the individual part. And that means it cannot move, right? It's fixed in spot in its location. It cannot be rotated. It cannot be moved anywhere. It's solid. The dash that comes up to the left of the rest of them, of course, means that they're floating, meaning that they are free to rotate in direction. So the way you toggle back and forth between those, you can either, right click on the title or right click on the part itself. But this one is currently floating. That's why you have the option to fix it. If I click fix, we see the logo changes, cannot move. Now we're fixed. Likewise, if it's currently fixed and you right click on it, you get the option to float it, meaning now we can move it. So back to the mates. The mates that we want to use for this problem, again, are just our regular coincident mates with the edges. I think that'd be the quickest, cleanest way to do this problem. So find which two edges would be coincident to one another. In this case, this edge here would also be coincident to this edge here. Now I'm going to hit OK and finish the mate. As you can see, there's still some freedom of motion there. The only thing that's currently mated are these two edges. So the parts can still move in any way, in any direction that still satisfies this mate. So I need to add a second mate to fully constrain this part, right? For example, you could also mate these two edges together. Again, with the coincident mate. Now I didn't click on coincident there specifically. SolidWorks just kind of and made a reasonable assumption that based on what I selected, I would like to maybe use a coincident mate, right? So sometimes it might suggest that for you. Sometimes it might suggest the wrong mate that you want. So if you wanted to be more specific, what you could do before selecting the things that you want to mate, you can select the mate itself first, and then that way SolidWorks knows, okay, this is the kind of mate I want to go with. So if I select coincident first, now it's going to do a coincident no matter what. So we'll just continue this, right? Now we just select the edges of the parts which we need to finish. Once I've created that mate, you have to hit OK. So that mate was just created. However, how do I explain this? Any mate that you make, you can make these back to back to back without exiting the mate window. Now that is an option, but I do want to show you guys something. So let's say now I want to mate this edge with this edge. So it's going to create those mates and say, now I hit OK. Now let's back out of the window altogether. One thing that I learned is, let's say you realize you made a mistake and now you want to hit Control Z to undo. What it's going to do, it's going to undo all of the mates that you made consecutively at once instead of just undoing one mate at a time. So if I hit Control Y, doesn't appear to work. Okay, that's fine. I could do this again, but I just want to show you, see right there, since I didn't back out of the window, each time I made a mate, when I undid them, it undid all three at the same time. So if you would like to avoid that, what you could do is finish a mate, hit OK, back out of the mate window, and then go back in, and then continue adding your mates. So I'll just demonstrate that. I'll do these one at a time. So I did those individually now. So as you can see, if I hit Control Z, it only undoes the most recent mate. So just be aware of that. You don't necessarily have to back out of the window every single time. It does become kind of time consuming. However, just know that if you ever do need to undo, before you do that, make sure that you're aware that it could undo multiple mates at the same time, depending on whether or not you backed out of the work tree, every single time. So we'll just continue these parts now. So let's say I need to make this edge. In this case, I have two edges that I can select. Either would satisfy what I want. It could either be this one or it could be this one. Doesn't really matter. Again, I have a coincident mate. I hit OK. It also looks like this edge should be mated to this edge. So there's that one. And just go through at this point. It's pretty self-explanatory. Find the edges that need to be coincident to one another. Hit OK. Select this edge. And I believe I explained this in class before too, but as you can see, sometimes parts get in the way of one another whenever you're creating an assembly. So what happens when you click on a part for that mate, in this case, I clicked on edge 7 of tile number 4, this green tile, it made it transparent. So if this part was obstructing the selection of another, now, since it's transparent, I can select through it. So I can select, for example, the face on this part now, even though, the object is still kind of visibly in the way, but it is transparent. So it functions, it allows me to click through the part now. So I can select the 8th edge of tile number 6 in this case, which I believe was redundant. I don't think Might have added a similar mate twice. Yeah, so you see in that case, I added two different mates, one with this edge, which is more or less in the X direction, and also this edge. Now they can be satisfied at the same time. However, it is redundant. You don't necessarily need both of them. So what you can do there, if you right click, find your, first of all, you know where to locate your mates. As you create them, there is a mate section at the bottom of the page, which can be dropped down. You can find the specific mate that you're looking for. And if you don't know what that is, if you hover on it, click on it, it'll highlight in purple and orange where that mate is and what it's mating. Or another way uh, to show you guys, if you know the component, right? Like I know the mates that are added to these two components, you can right click on the component itself and then go to view mates. View mates is going to show you all of the mates that are being applied to that specific component while hiding the rest of them. So it's telling me this component has coincident mate 11 and coincident mate 12. And then from here, you could do, delete it, you can edit it, you can do all that good stuff. In this case, I need to delete it. Yes, I want to delete this mate, and then I can back out, and then that mate's no longer present. Um, so I can replace that with a mate that, would make a difference. In this case, if I made it this edge with this edge, now that part is fully defined. And you can test it out whether or not you need more additional mates by grabbing the part and try to move it. In this case, it tells me the part is fully defined. Although there is no symbol next to that individual part file, it is still fully defined, right? So it acts as if it's fixed. It doesn't necessarily have to express that it is fixed for the part to be fully defined. In either case, there is no allowable movement or rotation that can happen with that part. So again, we'll just continue this. Again, it's pretty self-explanatory at this point. Let's see, we have this cube, has that mate there, hit OK, mate another edge, I hit OK. So we have this edge down here. We have these two edges over here. So at this point, we're just completing our Tetris block by mating the appropriate edges together. And my last component over here. See, I have this edge with this one, hit OK. And I have, let's say, these two, so I need one in this direction. And just to show you guys, because this is a common mistake that I see, and I do this, it's a bad habit too. If you ever make a mistake, you don't need to necessarily close the window, back out, and then go back in, especially when it comes to like selections. So let's say in this case, I have this edge, and let's say I accidentally select, this edge. If you made a bad selection, you can right click on the selection itself, and you can delete that specific one. Or if you need to, let's say, start fresh, you can just go to clear selections and it'll clear all of them. But in this case, I only need to delete this one selection, and I can replace that with the appropriate one. Go ahead and hit OK, and I can back out. Let me see. I'll take you to the isometric view. So you can see there, this is the completion of part number 1. And again, if you wanted to check just to make sure everything's fully defined, you could individually click on these components, try to move them, try to drag them in some random direction, give them a little shake. If everything is good, nothing moves, our assembly is fully defined. So this would be the complete solution. So from here, you would save your part. Yes, I want to save all documents. And then let's go to directions, find a safe location for you to download or save your component. As always, follow the naming convention. So this would be, for example, problem one, where, and is the number, Yeah, so you just name this problem one. Save that, and you should be able to locate your work. As you can see, now that comes up as an assembly document rather than a part document. And the difference there is so if we go to the properties, now we can tell this is a .sld SAM, so SolidWorks assembly file, rather than an SLD PRT SolidWorks part file. Okay, so that was problem number one. Thank you very much.